Hey everybody, welcome back to the Dungeon Dive. Daniel here. I hope you are doing well, and if you're not, I hope you are soon. Okay, today we are just going to do an unboxing of Stars of Akarios. This is a big Kickstarter game that just got delivered to me last week, and so I wanted to take a look at what is in this box. I have a feeling that I am going to quickly sell this game, and that is not passing judgment whatsoever on the game. I know next to nothing about it. I just have this feeling because when I backed this game, I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago, I was way more or thought I was way more into these kind of long, narrative-based adventure games. And as time has gone on, and as fans of the channel know, my patience for my desire to play big narrative campaign games has all but vanished. So I really don't have any opinion about the game, but I do have an opinion about what I am into now as a gamer. And I have a feeling that I'm going to, get this set up, get this learned, and, learning to play it and start to play it and have a feeling that it's going to kind of slot in that same space as a Gloomhaven or as a Madara, as these kind of just big story games that will take up a lot of time that just aren't, for me, aren't worth the effort. But I do think this game looks pretty cool, and I'm going to give it a good try because who knows? Maybe this will be one of the big, epic, large campaign games that will win me over. We will have to see. But let's take a look at the back of the box here. It's a pretty hefty box. I think it's about the same size as like Role Player Adventures. But this says Stars of Akarios. Stars of Akarios is a narrative driven cooperative campaign game for 1 to 4 players set in the Akarios galaxy. A typical session of play will start as players interact with the galaxy map and scout their next scenario as part of space exploration. This scenario may result in space combat, world exploration, or discovering more about the galaxy. Players will progress in the story of Stars of Akarios as they explore and venture further across the galaxy. The story is a sprawling narrative. See that right there? I'm just kind of like, oh, what did I think I bit off more than I can chew. The story is a sprawling narrative with opportunities for players to choose how to shape the story. Players will meet many memorable characters, discover unexplored regions of space, and unravel the mysteries of Stars of Akarios. So it definitely, like, I mean, my imagination is kind of like sparking right now. It's kind of like firing off, like, ooh, I wonder what kind of things I can discover. But then again, I'm like, ooh, I wonder how long it's going to take me to discover those things, and am I going to be able to leave it set up long enough? You guys get the drill. But 1 to 4 players, 20 minutes per player. That's I highly doubt that, unless maybe this game is really in small bite-sized chunks, and hey, that could be pretty cool. All right, let's open this bad boy up and see what we got. So I have taken a quick look at some of the stuff in here. I haven't opened up everything. Here we have, this is just kind of a map of the different galaxies here. I don't think this has any gameplay ramifications. It's just kind of a tchotchke Kickstarter thing. And on the top here, we do have our punch boards. Okay, so these are the punch boards. I do like that there are not a ton of punch boards. That's kind of cool. Let's see. We've got some enemy ships here. So there was a way that you could get all of these enemy ships purchased as minis, but I went for the standee version. Yay, standees! So glad they offered that. So we've got some enemy ships and some star sectors here, some nebulae maybe. Yeah, pretty good quality. They feel nice. Pretty, I would say, like standard, good Kickstarter quality. We have some more enemy ships there. And these will like stand up and they will go on your map there. Looks like Some different ships here: Invictus, Merkava, Gnosis, Charis, and Argonaut. Maybe some different pilots or something: Starla, Violet Ray, Garden, and Invar. Probably some characters there. All right, and very similar sheet here. More of the enemies, more of the pilots. Maybe the pilots are characters. Some more ships there. And here we have our planet sectors, some asteroid fields, it looks like. I do like that there are not just a ton of like status chits. That is pretty nice. This, as far as the chits go, this looks more manageable than a lot of games of this size. So I do appreciate that for sure. These are the player boards. Pretty nice. Dual layer, double layer. I am hoping that the game actually does play well, true solo with just one hero, one ship, one crew, one pilot, however you play the game. Just so it can fit on my table. I hope I don't have to juggle a whole bunch of these, but these look pretty well organized. We have our little spot for our pilot there. It does look like these are like the pilots. So that would slide in there if you wanted to play this Yolendo person there, being, I should say, being person there, and they slot right in. That's kind of cool. And it looks like we probably have what our ship here. Does that go like that? Yeah, possibly. So you can lift that out. Okay, that's pretty nice. I do like that. It seems like things are well maintained on this board. You've got a spot for some tokens or some cubes there. A little spot for some basic actions. Sorry, I should have been holding this up. Yeah. Cubes, your basic actions there. Spots for your engines, pilot ability, ship ability, a couple different tech sectors. Looks like more cubes to go there. Okay, pretty nice. Nicely made. Good production, that's for sure. So we've got how many of those? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's going to be for each of our characters, or each of our players, I should say. And then we come to, of course, the game trays, the new hotness. Everybody loves the game trays. Sometimes they can be really nice. Sometimes they can limit. If you needed to add things to the box, things need to be packed a certain way. And for the most part, game trays, they make it so that it fills up the whole thing. So it's a double-edged sword. It can be really nice, like in games like Role Player Adventures, or the game we just took a look at, Dice Throwing Adventures. So I can deal with these, and I would also be happy if the game didn't come with them, because I could just have my own storage solution. But this is kind of nice, a really big game tray here for all of our cards. Okay, so what do we have here? Got a whole bunch of different cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 various decks of cards here. So I have heard this game described as, in shorthand, is Gloomhaven in space. I'm sure that's going to make some people very happy. I don't know how I feel about that yet, but these look like little modifier decks here, much like Gloomhaven. So, yep, you got your misses, you get your ×2. Yep, these are all your modifiers. So it does have some card play that is going to be similar to Gloomhaven in that regard. And then we also have some ships here. So we have, let's see, our ship abilities. So these will be slotted on our character sheet. So each one of these has a few abilities: the Argonaut, the Gnosis, the Invictus, the Merkava, the Charis, the Vicar, the Olax, the Evrim, and the Howler, and the Guntal. Let's see here. So we have 1, 2, 3 different abilities. Lots of iconography, not a lot of flavor text, so I'm not really sure what these do yet, but I'm sure we'll learn in due time there. We've got those. We've got another deck of ability card or modifier cards here. So more modifiers. See, now here's, yeah, I don't know about these modifier cards. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I feel about them. Wasn't quite sure how I felt about them in Gloomhaven. It seems like something that a dice could easily use. I don't know. I don't know. You could simulate with a dice and you wouldn't have to have so many components or maybe a table. I'm not sure. Maybe it's really cool. I don't know. But I mean, I would have probably rather had seen this cardboard been used for more story, more flavor stuff, more random encounters. It just seems like a lot of cards. Okay, here we have some pilot abilities. Pilot abilities, more modifier cards. Man, so many of these modifier cards. Looks like you're going to be doing a little bit of deck building as you go through, adding good cards, taking away bad cards. So I know people really like that in Gloomhaven a lot. Let's see, a few abilities for each of the pilots. So here we have Starla, and what do we have? Motivational speech, stress reduction, wingman, and sacrifice. Take a look at a couple others here. We have a violet array, mimic, outmaneuver, focus, and exploit. Okay, so those are kind of the very, very mechanical type abilities there that I'm sure will help as you progress through the campaign. Well, we have co-pilot abilities. Okay, that's kind of cool. So you can have like a crew, perhaps your co-pilot can help out. Different co-pilot abilities, Bellar, Balarn, Darzo. So it looks like there's all kinds of different co-pilots. And man, that's a lot of empty space on these cards. You know, sometimes you look at a card in a game and you think, oh man, I cannot wait to like encounter that card in the game and see what that does. This just kind of does it doesn't do much for me. Very, very sterile. I guess that kind of fits with the science fiction theme of the game. But yeah, it just kind of looks very dry, I guess you could say. Dry and mechanical might be a good way of uh, of explaining the way these cards look so far. The Sparrow, what do we got here? The Sparrow. Oh wow, a bunch of Sparrow cards here. Upgraded cannons, different kinds of attack and modifiers, looks like. Advanced controls, tech cards here. So these are probably going to ways that you can upgrade your tech tree. 30, there are going to be, looks like about 45 different tech options here. Advanced controls, upgrading your hull. Yeah, again, so far, like these cards really aren't doing much for me in terms of like getting me excited about the game. And what do we have here? We have different, these are going to be our different engines that we can upgrade. All of our engine deck here. 38 different upgrades or so. Deep strike, stealth move, attack move, regenerating hull, quick thinking, take command, repair bubble, low burn, interference, overload. Okay, kind of all kinds of different ways that we can upgrade our engine and use that. And what do we have here? Weapon upgrades. You know, without a lot of art and cool stuff on the cards, I would say like this could be done on a character sheet and just looking up in a book. I don't know. These look a little more interesting. Reaching shot, energy explosion, flashing light. Kind of cool. I do like these attack cards. I think I like the way the cards look in something like Xia Legends of the Drift system a little more. What do we have here? Enemy combat cards. Enemy combat and some story cards. So we have some events here. Okay, that's kind of cool. I like these. I would have liked to have seen a whole heck of a lot more. Hopefully there are more events. In a 50-hour campaign, I think I would want more than 20 or so events. But maybe this gets added to augmented by the book or something. And then we have our various enemy combat cards. Probably just going to show different ways that the AI is going to interact with us when we go into combat. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen, like, 2 times an event deck, 4 times this size, and fewer of these little modifier cards that look kind of boring there. It's like these are probably our enemy stat cards. We've got scouts, Ronin frigates, fighters. Cool look. I like the anime look, the shading and the colors. A cruiser, titan, science vessel, a beacon, assault, a roller, a mammoth, dart, and an aeronaut. Okay. And what do we got here? We've got more enemy combat cards, more enemy combat cards, and more enemy combat cards. So these are going to be the cards that are going to dictate the AI of the enemies that we are fighting. We've already taken a look at some of those there. And then we have our kind of our planet exploration. So this is one of the aspects of the game that I thought sounded pretty interesting, where you kind of have this little seventh continent style exploration where you have these cards and you're going to be going on these little adventures throughout these alien worlds. This seems like the coolest part of the game to me, just from when I was looking at the Kickstarter. And we have Fulia. We have Chuko. Okay, I'll just look at these real quick. I don't want to spoil too much. Okay, and then that'll be the last of those that we look at. But then we have Chosek monsters. Okay, that's kind of cool. Okay, let's take a look at this one. This one seems like it might be kind of cool. This is like an interior, and yeah. So this part of the game excites me. And we have a synthetic titan. All right, there. And then we have a whole nother deck of these. Let's see how many different environments there are. So far we have 4. And then we have Jutsu. Okay. Nice little deck of cards there for Jutsu. And then we have Patram. This was a large one, quite large here. All right. And then we have one more deck of these kind of exploration cards here. So we have Chosek, kind of a smaller one, smaller planet. We have Jurark, nice large one, and Fairwork. Okay, so as far as the different environments go, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 different environments to explore. That's cool. This part of the game, I think, looks really interesting, and I'm hoping it is as fun as it looks. All right, let's get the lid back on here. So that is most of the cards that come with it. And then we get a whole bunch of little checkbooks, little notepads here that have all of our different ships. We have Starla, Gord, K2, Yarden, Violet Ray, Dusty, and Invar. I'm not sure what all of these icons mean, but it looks like you're going to be keeping track of your ship there and like its abilities and all of that. So a character sheet for your ships. And then each of our heroes, each of our captains has their own little box here where you're going to keep keeping all of probably your modifier deck and your mini. So the heroes do come with minis and the pilots do come with minis. What do we got here? So we have our basic modifier deck. It'd be a bunch of 0s and 1s, maybe like 1 times 2. I'm not going to open those. We have our ships here. Let's see how that goes on there. What direction is the curve? Okay, so it's going to be something like that. There's our main little enemy or our hero ship there. And then this is probably one of our captains, one of our pilots there. And you will get 4 of those. Get that one there, that one, and that one there. So we get 4 places to hold all of our stuff for our heroes. We have all of our plastic cubes here, different colors to keep track of things on our ships. We have the Sparrow. So that's kind of a large, I think this is kind of a large, probably a boss type ship there. Trauma cards. This tray will hold that. We have a couple more notebooks here. We have Act 2, 3, Act 1. Okay, so these are campaign sheets here, how to keep track of your campaign. Another pilot or ship, the Yolindo, I think Yolindo was one of the pilots, right? And then we have our big hex board. So this is going to be where we're going to be laying those little tiles. And what I like about this is the board is nice and small. It's just a nice 3-fold little hex map. And here we have some planets on one side and just a nice space field on the other side. I do like that it is nice and small. That is super cool. So, hey, maybe the game will actually fit on my table. Okay, now I have opened up the rule books. I did want to take a look at the rule book real quick and our scenario book. So, you guys know I'm not super into big fat scenario books. They can be fun, but they fill me with apprehension. So this one isn't giant, not quite Madara size, but it is Gloomhaven size. The rule book, I was surprised by how slim the rule book was. The rule book was only about 35 pages. It looks nice. It looks nicely laid out. I have not read it yet. I'm not exactly sure. I haven't heard too many good things or bad things. I haven't heard my view is completely neutral so far on the rule book there. But we have our scenario book, and the campaign I know is broken up into 3 acts. And I believe it does have a tutorial where you kind of learn to play as you go through this first part of your scenario book. And it does have some QR codes that you can scan where I think you can watch videos to learn. So hopefully it's an easy game to get into. Hopefully there isn't a big time commitment up front, just to learn the game. But yeah, does look pretty involved. Okay, it does look like there are quite a few entries in here that deal with encounters. So maybe that encounter deck is not all of the random encounters. That is good. That is good. So yeah, lots of encounters in here. Not a lot of art. Doesn't look like hardly any art. Most of it is pictures of the board for setup. It does look like the setup is probably a lot faster than Gloomhaven. So that is one thing I enjoy. There aren't a ton of tiles, so that's good. That is a good thing. And then finally, put books down here. Okay, so what do we have? We have some enemy boards here where you're going to be putting your enemy cards there and keeping track of probably their shields and power and that kind of thing. Okay, so there's our enemy cards there. We've got more enemy trays there. And then we do have this deck of cards here. We do get a couple different cheat sheets to help us keep track of different various aspects of the game. And then we have these large kind of exploration cards, and these are all of these systems, these star systems. So it looks like we have our system here. the Adestrius system. And then these are going to be kind of like those Seventh Continent style exploration cards for our different star systems. So we have the Draconian system. We have the Tresian system. Yeah, that's a large system there. And the Virtus system. So again, things that you can be exploring during the game. That's cool. This is another part of the game that excites me. I like this. This is these two exploration, the exploration cards where you're on the planet and through the systems. That is the main reason why I backed the game. And then we have a few little minis in here. Okay, we do have some dice. So it does look like the card play is augmented with some dice rolling. Okay, that's good. We have our standee holders there and a few minis here. Mainly just for the hero ships, I believe. All of the enemies are going to be represented by standees. And it looks like we have a few more hero or captain minis there. So yeah, all in all, looks like a pretty good package. I'm pretty positive that a lot of people are going to be super into this game. It looks interesting. I just know myself. I know the kind of game that I am into right now. And it's probably not a game like this. But I am going to set it up. I'm going to go through those tutorial missions, kind of get a feel for it, get a feel for the ratio of like reading, of scenario stuff compared to gameplay stuff, and just how much crunch there is to the game, just to kind of see if it is my kind of game. And hopefully I'll be back with some good news sometime in the near future. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed this unboxing video of Stars of Akarios. We will talk to you later. Bye-bye.